Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today people are not who we think they are. Well, people are not who you think they are. Nobody is who we think they are. In fact, nothing is who we think. Nothing is what we think it is. It's all an illusion. I thought I'd start off bold. It's all an illusion created by thought. And that's why the word think is in there, because we're creating it all. And while I've been exploring relationships this month, in all these sessions, that is what is coming through so strongly, is that it's the illusion we create that causes the suffering, that causes the separation, that causes the disconnect between us and other people. So earlier today, I was exploring, or yesterday possibly, I've been recently exploring difficult conversations. And then I was exploring boundaries. And all of that, you know, the idea of something being a difficult conversation, the idea of boundaries, etc., is all created from this illusion that there's a me and a you and that we're separate. That there's a me and an annoying husband or ex-husband or ex-partner or whatever, you know, there's a me and a mum who's getting on my nerves, or there's a me and my fiance's ex. Like all of that is this illusion, and it's created by thought. We think we're cameras. We think we're just seeing the world just exactly as it is, a perfect representation of reality. But it's our reality. It isn't reality. And none of this is about making you feel like you're crazy by believing that there's, you know, that this illusion that's been created. But it is about bringing some playful curiosity to, you know, what is it about other people that I'm seeing? What is it that I'm creating? What are my stories about other people? You know, where do I think my feelings are coming from? If I think it's from them, I'm in a misunderstanding. Because none of our feelings come from other people or other things and things out there. It's an inside out way in which our experience is created, not outside in. So while we're in that misunderstanding, we're going to be experiencing people not as they are. And all of those things, the difficult conversations, the boundaries, everything else I've been exploring around relationships, really does come back to this illusion of separation. You know, how we see people is so key to how we relate to them, isn't it? So, you know, I've mentioned this so many times before, but I think it's quite a nice way of considering how our mind will, you know, our thinking will organize what we see to fit something that we already think is true. So our beliefs create our reality, not in a manifesting kind of way, but in a, that's just what you see kind of way. So, the example I often talk about is, any behavior, I talk about emptying the bins, but let's just say, and I know that this was happening in my marriage, that is no more. If I say my ex-husband is rubbish at emptying the bins, emptying the dishwasher, they were the things I actually wanted him to do without prompting, and I don't think he's good at that, then when I go into the kitchen, what I will focus on is the disarray. What I will be presented with is the disarray. Because my poor old brain, less of the old, my poor brain is trying to process millions of bits of information in each moment. And then it presents me with the 50 that it thinks fit with how I think the world is. Confirmation bias. So it's like so literally, I could go into the kitchen when everything's neat and tidy, and my brain just won't, it'll just like, it won't, it'll have me notice the one thing that's out of place or the one thing that hasn't been done. And as a recovering criticaholic, I've just made up that. As a recovering critical person, I can see right in my relationship now where that's happening. And it's causing some friction, not to the massive detriment of our relationship. It's a good relationship, that's the truth, But I know that I have some sensitivities about some of the things that Bruce, my fiance now, some of the things he does. I think he procrastinates, so I'm hypervigilantly watching out for that all the time. So of course that's what I see. He might not be procrastinating, but I'm making it up that he is. Not consciously, I'm not doing that deliberately. But all the time we are creating those people, and we're creating them from our thinking. So when I say people are not who we think they are, people are a mirror though. People are a mirror of our thinking, because this confirmation bias process is happening all the time, and that's my thinking that's creating that. It's my belief system. It's how I see the world, my perception, that is allowing some things to be seen and other things to not be seen. All day, every day, that's happening. It's amazing, really, when you think about it. It isn't just with our interactions with other people, but obviously that's the focus for this piece of work at the moment, but it's about every single thing in every part of our lives. One of the things we noticed, because, like everybody else during lockdown, we did a lot of walking. And, we discovered lots of new paths, but we did go over some paths more than once because you couldn't not, could you? Because you're restricted in how far you could go and how long you could be out. So we definitely, went, over things more than once. And especially for our sort of daily walks. And we would be walking along and we'd see something like, there's one like down the road here, that there was one ginnel, like a little passageway between two houses. We call them ginnels in Yorkshire. Don't know what you call them where you are. And we walked up this road, this particular road that our road is off. We've walked up and down it so many times. And then one day we were walking along, and I went, bearing in mind these are Victorian houses, so they're 100 and odd years old. I said, has that ginnel always been there? And Bruce went, well, I suppose it must have been, but neither of us had ever seen it before. We'd never seen, we walked past it hundreds of times and we'd never seen it. So in our previous reality, there was no ginnel. And in our new reality, there was a ginnel. There's a new reality there. So what's reality? Well, obviously, really, there is a ginnel there. But prior to that, if somebody had said to me, is there a ginnel on the left-hand side of this road when you get near to such and such? I'd have said, no, no, definitely not. There definitely isn't a ginnel. And there was. There always has been. Well, there has been for 100 and odd years. Certainly during my lifetime, there always has been. But I'd never seen it. Amazing, isn't it? And we experience that a lot. That's one example. We experience that a lot. And I guess that's where, and I think where we just start to bring some awareness is, what are we not seeing about the other person, or what are we seeing more of than really exists in the other person? And to get curious, so curious about that. Like at the moment for me, it is me noticing when I am seeming to get quite riled up about really quite trivial things with Bruce. And that's the key, is to be noticing that you're riled up, to be noticing that you are feeling off, and to know that that is guiding you to let you know that your state of mind is not good, that you're probably creating some kind of illusion. Not deliberately. There's no deliberate illusion creating going on. It's just how it is for us as human beings, that we do live in a thought-created reality. And when I say reality, it's not real, it's our reality. And everybody else's reality is different. And you know, what's just come to mind there is like why would we therefore ever give a damn what anybody else thinks about us? Because that is just to do with their reality, or what anybody else says to us or says about us. My fiance and I are watching a series on Netflix at the moment, Georgia and Ginny, or Ginny and Georgia it's called, I can't remember. It's about a mother and daughter, and you know, we're seeing the relationship these young people, the friends of Ginny, who have this relationship with social media and, you know, stuff online and what people are saying about them and that kind of thing, and just seeing that, you know, knowing that that's just somebody's perception of you. It's not real. It's just hot air, literally. And that's momentary. You know, somebody writes a comment online and they might only think that for 3.2 seconds while they're typing it, and then they're on with commenting on somebody else's stuff, or they're off doing something, having their lunch. They're not carrying around this thought about you. But maybe you've noticed that, you know, you're noticing, you're thinking about other people a little more than is perhaps helpful. So again, as always with this, the encouragement is to just look towards this, just to look in this direction, just to get curious about bits of behaviour that really do seem to be annoying you, perhaps, about, you know, something about another person. And, you know, know that that's coming from you. I'm not saying other people aren't doing things, but it's about the disproportionate element to it, isn't it? You know, he seems to be doing this most of the time. Well, he's not really. It's just your brain's very good at making sure you see it when it happens, and not necessarily see all the opposite behaviours. Like, I might notice Bruce is procrastinating, but do I notice when he's being really efficient and getting things done? Possibly not. So yeah, fun to look at that and get curious about it, and that's all we ever need to do. But people are not who we think they are. They're our thought-created illusion, just like everything else. So another space for curiosity, another space for awareness. It's all about peeling off the layers and just seeing more and more from a place of self-awareness and compassion, self-compassion. So lots of love. I hope you found that helpful. As usual, lots of live things happening on Insight Timer, more and more courses being added all the time. Please do follow me if you don't already, because that's the place where I hang out and share lots of this stuff that people find helpful. So take care. Lots of love. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.